Hi, my name's Hugh Reed, and I'm going to tell you how to memorize right to counsel, critical stages of counsel for the Fifth and the Sixth Amendment of the Constitution. The Fifth Amendment, obviously, we're talking about right to counsel because of Miranda Rights, that is, the right not to incriminate yourself. So once the police officers start interrogating you and you're in custody, interrogation plus custody, they've got to give you your Miranda rights, which basically is, it doesn't have to be exact. It says, you have a right to an attorney. You don't have to speak to us. You don't. Anything you say can be used at trial. And do you understand these rights? And if you talk, then anything you say can be used against you. Sixth Amendment, of course, is the amendment that talks about right to counsel at all critical stages of a proceeding. So what are these critical stages? I guess the easy way to memorize these, that's the way I memorize them, is I put a frog in Mom's sandal. That's how I memorize it. It's an acrostic where each letter of a word in the sentence stands for a critical stage. I put a frog in Mom's sandal. So let's go through them. I, initial hearing when there's a right to bail. Initial hearing, a hearing when there's a right to bail. You have a right to an attorney being present. Initial hearing when there's a right to bail. Put a preliminary hearing. Preliminary hearing. I put A. The A stands for arraignment. An arraignment. You have a right to counsel. Also for appeals as a matter of right. But arraignment, when you have a right to counsel for an arraignment. I put A, frog. F stands for felony trial. Felony trial. You have a right to counsel. I put a frog in. The I in stands for interrogation after Miranda Rights. Interrogation after Miranda Rights. I put a frog in Mom's. The M in Mom's stands for misdemeanor, a misdemeanor charge where jail can be imposed. You have a right to counsel. Misdemeanor, right to counsel. Right? And then finally, sandal stands for sentencing hearing. Sentencing hearing. So, do you have a right to counsel for a lineup? No. All right? Just go through, I put a frog in Mom's sandal. These are all critical stages where you have a right to counsel. Otherwise, you do not. All right? So, recent exams for sentencing hearing, there's been a question about whether or not the Fifth Amendment's right against self-incrimination applies during sentencing hearing. And the answer is yes. The Fifth Amendment's right to against self-incrimination applies to all phases of the criminal trial. Right? So the phase during the sentencing hearing that they were asking about was allocution, where the defendant has a right to allocute himself. He gets to tell the judge his or her sob story. And do you have a right to counsel during the allocution phase? And the answer is yes, you do. All right, So that's it. Right to counsel, critical stages. I put a frog in Mom's sandal. Hopefully that's helpful. We've got a number of acronyms, mnemonics, memory devices on our website. Feel free to register an account and pick a free course, or call us if you have any questions. Our number is 1-800-852-EXAM. Thank you.